Pete and Pam's marriage relationship felt, blah. Now more than ever, they lived like roommates. They couldn't even say they were best friends these days. It wasn't always that way. Recently, Pete asked Pam why she did more things by herself. Whenever Pete suggested an activity they could possibly do together, Pam shrugged him off. What Pete couldn't admit was he was feeling shut out of her life. Pam couldn't tell Pete she felt drained by all their recent fighting. She tried to explain her feelings to him several times over the last couple of months, but felt unheard. Their life seemed busy and disconnected. Perhaps you can relate. It's difficult to learn to live with one another in an understanding way. We aren't born knowing how to get along with each other. Barbara DeAngelis said, "Marriage is not a noun, it's a verb. It isn't something you get, it's something you do. It's the way you love your partner every day." Healthy relationships require that we, first of all, live like Jesus. The only way to live like Jesus is to study his life and imitate him. That's what it means to be a disciple, or you might also think of it as an apprentice. Both a disciple and an apprentice learn from their teacher by following their ways, studying their life, and even living with their teacher for a time. We learn about Jesus through diligent study of the Bible. I encourage you to read the first 4 books of the New Testament to learn about Jesus. Reading these different accounts is like observing an object from 360 degrees and noticing the different nuances. Each brings a different perspective on Jesus' life. The second thing is to eliminate hurry. When you study Jesus' life, you'll notice he didn't hurry. He spent time with people. Someone always had an idea of what he needed to do and where he should be, but Jesus didn't allow others to rush him. One of my favorite stories of Jesus being present involves the woman who'd been bleeding for years. En route to help the leader of a synagogue whose daughter was dying, Jesus senses someone touching him in his robe. This woman who was so desperate to be healed had done just that. And Jesus stopped and asked who touched him in the middle of a crowd. Who touched him? This woman knelt before Jesus and admitted she was the one. And when she did, Jesus spoke gently and kindly to her before he continued on where he was headed. The third is to minimize distractions. In our culture, we seem to think that busy is a badge of honor. We spend hours on our phones checking email, answering text messages, scrolling through social media, researching something on the internet, making purchases, listening to podcasts or music, paying bills, and anything else you can think of. How does it feel to try to talk with someone who's constantly checking their phone? It's so easy to be distracted these days. One way to minimize distractions is to put your phones away during mealtimes. Give your family members and yourself the gift of time. Fourth, prioritize people. God created us to need relationship with others. In Ephesians 4, Colossians 3, Galatians 6, and many other passages, we're told to, first of all, share each other's burdens, serve one another out of love for Christ. Stop comparing yourself with another person. Enjoy your work. Be responsible for your conduct. Tell the truth. Give generously to others. Be kind to each other. Forgive each other. And practice hospitality, just to name a few. Well, let's go back to Pete and Pam. Or if you're finding yourself in that same situation, how can you reconnect and have a healthy marriage? I believe you can if you both desire it. Well, here are just 3 simple suggestions to rekindle your marriage relationship. First, seek biblical marriage counseling. Second, practice good communication habits. And third, give each other the gift of time. Someone famously said, love is a 4-letter word spelled T-I-M-E. Healthy relationships develop slowly over time, and they're worth it. So what steps will you take today to nurture your marriage? If you're stuck or you just need someone to brainstorm with you, hop on over to KirstenDSamuel.com and click the blue button. Let's talk.